You are watching CIOTV by Enterprise IT World, a production of Accent Infomedia.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, warm welcome to you to this particular session. It's of 20 minutes, not very big one. And I'll be throwing some questions around the CtrlS data center. It's a CtrlS data center specific fireside chat. CtrlS has been a pioneer in DC industry for a long time. At least I know this company for last 20 years. I met Sridhar, who is the founder in Dubai in, I think, 2010 or 11 or 12, I think. That time it was not a big operation out of there. Now, the big question here, I think you are the, so when I say you are the pioneer, Assam is a state which is very small and northeast. Nobody is actually looking at, that region. What prompted you that to have your DC there?
Okay, I never knew you'll start with Northeast first, but that's a beautiful place. I mean, anybody who's visited Northeast will agree with me that is one place that makes India more beautiful. I think the 7 states that are there, it's an extremely good place. But having said that, that's a place currently they're looking at getting connected to India and becoming as good as the other parts of India, or becoming as good as the south part or the west part of India. Under the digital Assam or initiative, the government is taking a lot of initiative to make sure they are reaching the rural part. They're making it more digital literate. So they're getting the policies in place to do that entire thing. So we wanted to be part of that initiative. We have an endeavor to go to multiple small cities. I mean, that's our expansion plan. We want to go to, almost 200 to 300 tier 2, tier 3 cities to set up the edge as fast as possible. Northeast was something which was where it came forward, and we thought it's in the right manner. We're also working with the government there to help them also to set up their own data center. That's where it is. There's a cable landing station that is going to come in this thing, and probably that will be a hub for not many SAARC countries. So Kolkata and Guwahati might become very important in the next 3 or 4 years. And if the government takes the right steps, probably East will boom up much faster than the other regions. And we wanted to be part of it, and that's why we said we will set it up. We will start off with the good part. It's going to be a rated 4 data centers, not like the other edge where we are doing tier 3, but this will be a rated 4 data center that we are doing, but it will not be a very big hyperscaler, but it would be 10 megawatts. That's what we are going to start off with. So that's the plan. So with all the initiatives which government is starting, and the things that they are looking at, in fact, there are a lot of things which the Assam government is doing, and we want to be part of it. And that's where they wanted the data center, the local content and everything to be there. And once we are there, probably the other ecosystems also will develop. And that's what we are looking forward to. It's a very exciting journey. We've been continuously interacting with them. And I hope it becomes a successful venture for both of us, the Assam government and also to CtrlS.
So that means it's specifically for Northeast. You won't be catering to other customers in other regions from that day.
For all the East customers, probably Guwahati and Kolkata will be the 2 hubs that will cater to. So, many customers who are local there, they will come. But a lot of the telcos and the others will be there. So that will be a helping zone for all of them. And also to the SAARC countries, whichever is closer, probably that would be the place where they would like to go.
Okay, you said that's it's not pure play edge data center. It's a tier 4 data center.
Yes, it is. So see, edge data center is, if it is local, it is edge. Right. Okay. But the only thing is the scale of this edge is slightly higher than the other edges which we are doing in the other tier cities. In the other tier cities, we will start off with data centers which might be 1 or 2 megawatts. And depending on how the pickup is, then we'll scale up. But here we are starting off with a large size, which is 10 megawatts, and then we'll scale up if the pickup is higher. So we're starting off big in Guwahati. It's a speculative thing that we feel that region is going to be quite a hub in that area. You talked about hub, India being a hub, but within India, probably that East hub is what we are quite positive about. So that's why we are there.
Okay. Similar to this, any other region, any other city that you are thinking about, not the metros, particularly Chennai, Noida or Delhi or Bombay, Bangalore, any other place that you are thinking of having similar kind of DC services, DC, built up?
Frankly, and I'm happy that this discussion has happened after the the first discussion. As you know, there is going to be a boom in the data center, and we are looking at that boom. Currently, we are present in 4 major metros. Okay, we started off in 2008, 2009, but our fastest growth has happened in the last 3 or 4 years. And thanks to the digital adoption and also the COVID and the other things that has helped customers move from on-premise to a data center thing. So we are in 4 cities with about 8 data centers. Okay, 8 data centers. I'll first talk about this 4 city itself, how we are expanding. So in Mumbai and Hyderabad, probably we will be the first one to set up a DC park. So in Mumbai, there will be a DC park. In Hyderabad, there will be a DC park. Currently, we have about 1.2 million square feet, capacity. We will be moving to close to about 5 to 6 million square feet. So which means we are going to be 5x the capacity that we are looking at in the next 3 or 4 years. Apart from these 4 cities, we intend to go to Chennai and Kolkata, which will be hyperscalers. We will also be in Ahmedabad. And then we have about 16 edge data centers. We'll do it over 12 to 18 months and about 200 locations in the next 4 or 5 years. So the first one is Lucknow and Patna, which is starting off this month. Then we are looking at, of course, Ahmedabad, Jaipur, Mohali, and many other locations. Udaipur, in South, we are looking at it. And there are many places. We have identified about 20 or 30 edge locations, which we want to do in the next 12 to 18 months. But from that, I think 14 or 15 will be live. So that's what. So there is a huge expansion plan it is, because as 5G gets rolled out, and as Amit was rightly saying, edge is on the edge. Okay, it can come anytime. Okay, and currently the edge applications have not come. Actually, what Amit was talking about is the current requirement of edge. The edge applications have actually not arrived in India yet. The edge applications will come when 5G gets rolled out. When you have the autonomous car, you have AR, VR. I don't know if many of you have read, there's going to be esports added into Olympics. Okay, if esports is added into Olympics, esports is going to be big in India too. And for esports, you got to have data on the edge. Okay, esports is basically sports on your in your laptop or on your this thing, which our generation folks can't imagine. But the kids, the next they don't know, they know what it is. So there's going to be Olympics medals there. So that means there are a lot more and more this generation, the Z generation folks who are going to adopt it, and there's going to be huge things out there. Like an ATM, that's another application which is there. Currently, when you walk to an ATM, you go, you swipe your card, and you kind of take the money, what it is. Imagine same bank. So if Sanjay goes into a ATM, the video camera will look at it, analyze, and say, hey, this is Sanjay. So the ATM will say, hi, Sanjay, welcome to SDFC or ICICI. Tell me, how can I help you? And you'll say, I want to withdraw some cash. The cash is withdrawn. And then say, by the way, Sanjay, you got some money left in the bank. Do you want to invest somewhere? These are the couple of things that you can invest to, and it interests you. So which means your profile is at the edge. So he could communicate to you as soon. This is just a simple example, but I'm saying there could be many such examples which is there. Amit talked about, regional content. Why should, of course, there are many folks from Bihar who are outside of Bihar. But in Bihar, there are maximum of them. So why don't give them content there? So giving them content locally will become the need. And same thing is there for Guwahati as well. Generating content and feeding the content locally is going to be there. So for all states and everything, local content will become a very important part. So that's the way we are planning to go.
Even the retail stores, whenever you are working in, if there is intelligence with a video
Absolutely.
or anything that they can create, offers as per your buying pattern, then and there only.
Yeah. So actually, that's a technology which is currently being done. And that's the AI technology that you can use. So for example, if you're walking in the mall, Okay. If in the mall any cameras captures you, hey Sanjay, you're roaming and just 2 weeks back you ate pizza. By the way, in Pizza Hut you have 30% discount. Do you want to go there? So those things are going to come. I mean, endless. You can't think about what it is. I mean, this generation who are 40 plus has seen things which none of us have, imagined we'll see. Probably the new generations will also not get to see that. But that's a fact. I mean, you might have AI robots roaming with us, right? To do lot many things. So then what happens? Then everything has to be at the edge. So we are still yet to witness the real power of edge. It will going to come over the next 5 or 10 years. As I said, there's going to be applications which are going to be edge applications. So very interesting times ahead.
All right, I think it's very, very exciting. I mean, the Gen Z and future generation are going to see a different world altogether. Metaverse is the brightest example now. I think the technological excellence at the maximum is the metaverse. And I think you never know what is going to come maybe in next 5-6 years. The time is changing. Consumption pattern is changing. Everything is changing. The behavior of the consumers are also changing. So also the technology behavior changing because the AI machine learning is creating havoc inside.
Absolutely. But I'm saying that power we have still not witnessed. Yes. We're just knowing what it is doing. Currently, we are collecting loads of data. Okay, we are storing the data, but we are still not utilizing the data where it is, right? So if you see the whole, because I also come from telecom, I spent a reasonable amount of time in Vodafone Idea. And so the 2G was more to do with man-to-man talking. It is more talking and little bit of data. 3G was, voice and data. 4G was more data and little bit of voice. 5G is going to be only data. So, there are 7 billion population in the world, out of which 3 billion comes in India and China only, but that is different. So, and probably 7 billion people, almost 6 billion people talk to each other on phone. But there is going to be, in the next 2 or 3 years, there are going to be 50 billion machines talking to each other. So it will generate data, it will analyze data, and it will tell the machine what to do. Okay. That's going to be phenomenal. So it's going to be phenomenally different world in the next 5 to 10 years. But we can imagine it when it gets executed. We'll see what roadblocks they have. But it's going to be a different situation there. And as I say, it will go by the flow, right? And we talked about it. We will start building the carts as we go on. Like cars start getting sold, we'll start making the roads. So that's how it will happen here. I mean, I wish we could make the roads before, but we are not anticipating that thing because it looks still speculative and imaginative. But that's a fact.
All right, Paresh, very exciting time. And now coming back to CtrlS, I think there is healthy competition in the market. Right, we are seeing all the representative here from the data center ecosystem. What's the competitive advantage of CtrlS, which every CIO asks for? And what is the future offering from you?
No, so I think, and I always believe there is market for everybody. Okay, there's a market for public cloud and private cloud first. And then within private cloud and data center providers, we already are now about 7 or 8 active players which are there. And probably there will be many players who will come in. I think the advantage which we will clearly have is basically because we have scaled up to a very large extent. We are having aspirations to grow faster. We want to be first as much as possible. Our success mantra has been the 5S. Okay, I talked about the 5S. In the data thing, I talked about the 3D. So the 5S we talked about is the scalability. The customers will be able to scale in the data centers because we have capacity in all the speed. Okay, just to give you, the data center building, because as Piyush was talking about, we're building the roads later, but can we build the roads faster? Okay, so a data center generally would take 2 years to build up, and this is what everybody will take, but we will take much lesser time. So we have speed. So 3x the speed. We are talking about building edge in about 2 or 3 months time. We were talking about building hyperscaler data centers in 6 to 7 months time, or probably faster. So that's the speed, because prefabricated. We have the design team within our whole group. So there's a design there. We have the sustainability portion within ourselves. So that's the third S, the sustainability. We are talking about green. A lot of innovations, almost 80 innovation comes from here. Sridhar Reddy, our founder, is now known as the green man of the data center. He's been given that title because of the kind of innovation he's doing that. So sustainability is going to be a key factor. So that's going to be there. The fourth factor is going to be security, right? Security, basically 9 zones of security in all our data centers. So, he talked about the warlike zone, but of course, if there's any fights or mobs and all we have, or anybody wants to enter in, it's going to be the most difficult building to enter, because there is 9 levels of securities that we have kind of provided. So we will be the most secured place in India to store data. And last but not the least, savings, right? We would be much more economical, even if they have the other 4 S. The 5th S becomes very important for the customer. So, we would be, probably priced same or probably a little bit more economical, even if we are rated 4. So if we can give you the rated 4 at the price of, tier 3, probably we want to be the preferred choice of customers. So we don't want you all to be in dilemma, but we want to be our preferred choice. I am sorry we made a sales pitch, but that's what we want to do, be ourselves.
Okay, last question. We'll wrap up after this. What's your roadmap from the growth perspective?
I think I did answer that. What we intend doing very clearly. We are riding the growth phase of India and the growth phase of data center. So as I said, we intend to go into more metro cities and have more hyperscaler data centers there. We intend to go the edge data center journey there. So very clearly, that edge data centers, we plan to do about 16 in the next 12 to 15 months and 200 in the next 4 or 5 years, or probably would touch 500 also, depending on how it goes. We also planning to go international, right? I mean, we just, had the chief business officer on board, Royce Thomas from Equinix. So with that, our global presence is also coming up very clearly. So we would be in Asia Pacific in at least 4 or 5 countries in the next 12 to 15 months. We're in a very advanced stage in Indonesia, Bangladesh, and Thailand. And probably the next one would be Vietnam. So very good expansion plan. The other thing is in terms of managed services, the product portfolio that we are doing. So we have grown because of the faith which customers have shown to us. I mean, they came to us early and they have grown with us. So it's good news that they have grown. That's why we grow. So basically, we have adapted to what the customer wants. So our managed services is become equally big as co-locations. Okay, so we can manage their entire piece. If they want us to manage the hardware, they want us to manage the network, they want us to manage the security, we can take up the entire piece. So our managed services portion, in fact, just to give you an idea, probably we are bigger than all the other players put together. So managed services portfolio is big. We just got the NLD license as well. So on the network portion also, we will be able to give. So for our data center, it's going to be power and it's going to be network. These are 2 things, and Anand talked about it. I mean, in fact, that's the advantage which Webbox carry. And that's what we also want to get into that place. But we'll be able to give internet bandwidth, we will internet lease line, be it also as SD-WAN as a service, also look at local content, Metro Connect, Interconnect. So there'll be a lot of services which we will be rendering. So what we are saying is, we've got existing customers, how can we give more? That's going to be the thing. So managed services post and also expansion. Okay, so we're going to increase coverage and we'll try to go deep. So these are the 2 things that we plan, and we hope that we'll be able to execute what we plan.
All my wishes are with you for expanding the managed services portion. I think the pain lies there for all the CIOs and CTOs. Skilled manpower is a shortage everywhere, globally.
Absolutely.
Everywhere you would talk to the CIO from Middle East, from Asia Pacific, from US, even the OEMs do not have the manpower to sustain their challenges within their businesses. So managed services, I think going to be a future one, and the expansion to the global market, especially the Asia Pacific market, is a great initiative. Paresh, thank you very much. It has been really, really nice having you here and talking to you. listening so many things, and you revealed so many future information. Probably that was not part of our discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
okay, I'd like to conclude here, and if you have any questions specific to, yes.
okay. Thank you so much, Sanjay. I mean, I will do answer that, but thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to,